Hey guys, my name is Damian Peters and welcome to another video of NBA Breakdown. Today I'll be breaking down why LaMelo Ball is not only a serious NBA prospect, but why he'll probably turn out to be the best Ball brother. Let's get right into it. From leaving the traditional American pathway to scoring 91 points in a high school game, featuring in music videos and starring in his own reality TV show, understandably, questions arose on whether or not LaMelo Ball is actually a legit NBA prospect. But as he has matured, grown and developed over the years, Melo's stock has continued to rise, and we could now be looking at a potential number one pick as the 18-year-old continues to impress. Here are 8 reasons why LaMelo will not only be the best Ball brother, but is a serious threat to go number 1 in the 2020 NBA draft. Let's start from the top. Point number 1 is LaMelo has been holding his own and competing against grown men and professional ball players since he was 16 years old. Given the platform, exposure and opportunities LaMelo has had from a young age, it has sped up his development in ways in which other ball players simply haven't had the luxury of tapping into. From his dad putting the world on notice, to social media increasing his reputation, and being a younger brother of a top 5 NBA pick, LaMelo's basketball avenues have swung open, and it has really helped with his development over time. Due to turning his back on the traditional American system of becoming an NBA player, Melo has aided his basketball growth by playing and competing against grown men since a young age. He's currently playing in the National Basketball League in Australia for the Illawarra Hawks, and the domestic league in Australia is one of the best and most physical leagues in the world. Surprisingly, Melo didn't go to a marquee franchise or popular city, but opted to head to Illawarra, a largely uneventful and unpopular place in Australia as a whole. This points to the maturity of the young star, as Melo has focused all his energy into playing as many minutes as he can in a professional environment, preparing himself for the NBA, which is just around the corner. He also had his European adventure in Lithuania, and despite the majority believing this experience was a failed experiment, it still gave Melo his first taste of professional basketball and forced him to mature in a circumstance that was unfamiliar. This past summer, LaMelo also took part in the Drew League, an off-season league which showcases international ball players and current and former NBA players. Melo didn't just hold his own, but showed out against his older and more experienced competition, further solidifying his NBA pedigree. Secondly, I think it's important to recognize that LaMelo's offensive game is actually quite nice for his age. It's crazy to think that LaMelo's overall offensive game may be more advanced than his older brother Lonzo's, but that in fact may be the case, especially in shooting and scoring the ball. For his age, LaMelo's offensive game is actually quite polished, and he shows a nice touch in the paint and around the rim. Despite being just 18 years old, LaMelo already shoots the ball more naturally and effectively from both the free throw line and three-point line in comparison to Lonzo, and has shown a nice floater and touch around the rim as well. It's currently Lonzo's biggest weakness in the league, but not for LaMelo, who will come into the league with the potential of being a consistent scoring threat from the point guard position. Point number 3 is LaMelo's court vision and passing. This area of Melo's game is something that definitely was not in the scouting report until recently. An underrated aspect of his game, a lot of people still don't realize that LaMelo sees the floor extremely well and can drop some serious dimes out in the hardwood. Of course, this is something Lonzo definitely has as well, and it's his biggest strength, but no one saw Melo developing into an excellent passer as well. I'd still give the edge to Lonzo in this area as of right now, as Melo is still learning how to be a true floor general. But his ability to see the floor and find teammates is an impressive and exciting aspect to his game that has made NBA scouts really stand up and take notice. Point number 4 is LaMelo's defensive instincts. Even more surprising than his court vision, Melo has displayed fantastic defensive instincts as of late, especially since making his move to the Australian Basketball League. Melo's anticipation has been impressive, as well as his ability to block shots under the rim. In his NBL debut, he posted 12 points, 4 steals and a big block. Lonzo of course also has brilliant defensive instincts, but no one ever knew Melo had them as well. This was an aspect of his game that was largely unknown until late, and his defensive potential makes him without a doubt a 5-star recruit. Point number 5 is LaMelo's size and length. Following on from the last point, LaMelo's defensive potential is greatly aided by his serious size and length. As of right now, Melo is already NBA ready height and length-wise, as he stands at 6'6" with a massive wingspan at just 18 years old. Lonzo is listed at 6'6" also, but LaMelo hasn't even finished growing yet, and his length is already greater than his older brothers. This is going to really help LaMelo in all aspects of his game, As he continues to get stronger and hit the weight room over time, he has the potential to be one of the better athletes in the entire NBA one day. Point number 6 is his ability to really handle the ball. There's a lot of guys in the NBA that are over 6'6" that can't really handle the basketball at an elite level, but that definitely isn't LaMelo. Melo's ability to handle the ball at his size and length is a big asset for him, and his ability to dribble out of pressure is also very impressive. At his size, with his handle, he can be a franchise's primary ball handler, making the majority of decisions. This is a valuable attribute to have when building a team around a guy that is comfortable and capable with the ball in his hands. Point number 7 is LaMelo is going to be a huge matchup problem. Given the size we've covered in previous points, and understanding that LaMelo is a point guard by nature, this poses a scary proposition of LaMelo's ability to be a matchup problem on a nightly basis. Similar to Ben Simmons, LaMelo's size will make him a very difficult cover for smaller guards, but the difference between the two is Melo could operate out of the post more with his more natural ability to score the ball. Big point guards or point forwards are gold in an NBA world of positionless basketball, and Melo fits that criteria perfectly. These type of hybrid players are rare, and NBA scouts are drooling at the prospect of defenses changing their schemes and personnel to potentially deal with him. Point number 8 is his willingness to make plays at the end of games. This is perhaps the most unspoken aspect of Melo's game to date, but is both interesting and very important. Unlike his brother, from what we've already seen, LaMelo is not only willing to make plays down the stretch, but also really wants the ball in his hands. LeVar has stated the Lakers should be playing through Lonzo down the stretch, but a lot of times he wasn't even on the floor due to his limited offensive repertoire and his poor free throw shooting. This likely won't be the case for Melo, and even recently in the Drew League and Australian League, he made big plays down the stretch. This is another factor that differentiates him from Lonzo, and maybe a big one no one is talking about when comparing both players. LaMelo Ball has definitely taken the unconventional route to be on the doorstep of the NBA. However, the experiences that he's gone through and is currently going through is preparing him as a top prospect and potentially a very, very good NBA player. With what we've covered, it's likely that LaMelo could well end up being the best Ball brother, even though we haven't seen Lonzo's ceiling yet. He is that good of a prospect. LaMelo is absolutely for real and will be a top 5 pick in the 2020 NBA draft. Thanks so much for watching again, guys. Like and subscribe for more NBA breakdowns on the way, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll speak to you guys soon.